Hi guys, it's Nathan here from Headbangers. Today, me and Brad are discussing our favourite breakdowns. Now, there's nothing that the metal community likes more than discussing breakdowns, so we thought we'd make a video about it. Now, this one even comes with a playlist, so if you wanted to check any of the ones out on the list, you're free to do so on the official Headbangers Breakdowns playlist. Not all of them that are in this list not all the songs in the playlist will necessarily show up in the list, is what I'm trying to say. It was basically we had to cut time, so we just picked our top tens. However, there's plenty more for you to choose from. Now, remember, if you like the podcast, leave us a like and subscribe. Also, if you listen to us on streaming platforms, please leave us a rating because it does actually help us out. We've now had 11 people now leave ratings, so it is helping us out. We also notice 95% of people watching on YouTube are not subscribed. So again, subscribe because again, it helps us out. So without any further ado, here's the episode.
Welcome back to the Headbangers podcast, where your hosts Nathan and Brad. Today we're doing something a little different. We're doing the best breakdowns of all time, in our opinion. Obviously, it's been about 40 years of metal, and not too long of that of hardcore as well. So there's definitely plenty to choose from, and it's very hard to concise a list like this. But we've tried to make it varied. We've tried to make like a list of stuff that covers all the bases. There's a lot of good breakdowns across the board. Obviously, you've got stuff like deathcore, which obviously has great breakdowns, but you can't forget stuff like thrash, hardcore, death metal, and that have all pioneered some great ones. Obviously, I don't know about you, Nath, but I think like to me, breakdowns will always be my favorite part in a song.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
So the
it's
way
like the climax in it.
yeah. Well, I was like, so I looked at this. We have kind of nicked this idea from Hardware. I will just stress. Gave us the idea. Yeah, I mean, we thought great idea. Let's make our list. But like, this is the way I sort of Attacked it. I attacked it on like how much people would agree. Yeah, I mean, because I didn't go play it safe because there is still deep cuts in there. But I was just thinking, if I picked like this band, would they agree? And if I thought no, then I'd left it off there. And I sat and thought as well, what is like moshability of these breakdowns? Do you know what I mean? Like, would they make me want to mosh even now?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
like we've got a playlist that's going to be coming along with the list.
T4.
Um, yeah, we've got a playlist that's going to be coming along with the list. There's only going to be 10 on the list. Just because I wrote too many. I mean, there's that many we could put in.
Yeah, there'll be 10 each. So
Yeah,
there's plenty for this video, but there will be a playlist as well that you can view, and we'll make sure to put the link in the bio for it. For mine, I wanted to go for like, breakdowns that I think about sometimes, on a rainy day, like that just hit so hard that, you know, whenever I think about breakdowns, these are the quintessential ones that really come to me. But I'm excited to see what Nathan's got. I already know a few of them, and I can completely agree. Um, so, without further ado, let's get into it. Nathan, do you want to kick us off?
yeah. Sorry, I was just sorting out my camera for a second. I just
Oh.
noticed it was a bit off. There we go. People are going to be jarred by that on YouTube. Uh,
Go on.
so my first one is by far my favorite Hatebreed song. It won't be a breakdown list without Hatebreed because the emotionability to Jasta's vocals and the amount of times and just in general, right? The ratio's all up for Jasta. He's been on more songs that has made me want to mosh than any other fucking vocalist. So my first one is Doomsday by Hatebreed. What a fucking banger.
But yeah, so I mean, my take on that, I honestly feel like Hatebreed are one of the best like breakdown producers. Like, there's, I don't know, something about Hatebreed just gets you pumped. Like, whether it's just his vocals, whether it's like, just those crisp breakdowns, just gets you so pumped.
Mate,
Like,
all this year, I have not been able to stop listening to Hatebreed.
mm,
Why I have become a Hatebreed stan. And like the thing is, when I was like more into metal and like more and I knew Hatebreed had sort of crossed over into the world, but I didn't have an appreciation for him. Do you know what I mean? Like I didn't it just didn't gel with me at first. And the more I got into hardcore and like learnt the law of like Jasta and like what he did, it made me appreciate the music because I thought this guy's clearly a guy that's passionate
Oh yeah,
about the
he's a
scene.
fan. You know
Do
what
you know
I
what I
mean?
mean? Like he's a fan of the music he produces. So I was like, let me check out Hatebreed more. There must be a reason why everyone likes him so much. And like I've not been able to stop. I think back then, like I had a lot of growing to do, but now Hatebreed, Jesus Christ, I found out they were playing Download, and I was actually contemplating paying the 400 quid just to see him. I thought,
Yeah.
you know what? Now, 400 quid on the ticket sounds worth it for a Hatebreed set. Do you know what I mean? Like I was there, like this, that would be worth it for
They
me.
are incredible live, to be honest. Like it's understandable. I think the thing with Hatebreed, like they are the perfect band between metal and hardcore. And I think like they were one of the first to really make it happen, you know. And I think it's because Jaster is such a fan. Like he loves metal, he loves hardcore. And you can hear it in the music. Like it's the perfect balance of everything really. And that breakdown is just absolutely killer, man.
It's like 2000, it's like 2000s metalcore types feel. Yeah, I mean, like, oh mate, it was that fucking breakdown. It's just it comes out of nowhere. It's like you're just a dumb. Oh no, it's you're dumb. Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
dun. Oh mate, it just it's
it's
so
incredible.
fucking good. It's so good because it comes out of nowhere as well. Because like the entire song is a moshable song, right? But there isn't like a full-on like a moment where it like proper breaks down, and then that hits right at the end.
Yeah,
They
it's
knew
a
what they were
perfect
fucking
song
doing.
to it's a perfect way to end the song, isn't it, really?
Oh man, it's just the thing is he's so good with hooks. Do you know what I mean? Like every Hatebreed song and every Jim Jaster feature has a hook.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Where it's just like he says it and it's the perfect thing to say before the breakdown. Do you know what I
Mm,
mean? Like it's immediately like flicks a switch in the crowd and everyone's like, well, guess it's time to go.
absolutely. So my one is going to be Carnifex, Lie to Your Face, Lie to My Face, sorry. So I'm sure do you know this one?
Mate, of course I know this one. Of course I
See,
know this one.
oh, you thing is, I love every variation of Carnifex. But like when you go back to like the Raw first album, like this song has to be one of the best deathcore songs ever written, and the breakdown in this again, it's like the music stops and he's like lie to my face, and then the fucking just breakdown is just heavy as fuck. Like it's that rawness from deathcore like the early 2000s. That's almost just you know you just can't do it. It's just
I I feel
so
like
nasty.
I feel like they want a suffocation trip when they wrote that.
Yeah,
Because when you break down that no, that break when you break down the breakdown, when you break down the breakdown, it is like a suffer riff just sped up.
yeah. I think well, suffocation was so massively and influential to the scene.
Oh mate,
That's
it's
understandable.
they are. In a way, I think they're quite underrated as like one of those deathcore bands because like you think about the space of deathcore now, they're not really like talked about.
Carnifex.
Yeah, like they're talked about in the sense of like the same way as like people would go, oh, but yeah, back in the day, I used to really rate them. Yeah, I mean, like back in the day when I first got into it, I feel like they were like the gateway band that don't get enough credit for being a gateway band. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely, definitely. I completely agree with that. And to be honest, like this first album is still one of the hardest hitting death deathcore albums that there's been. And this breakdown just hits.
Definitely, definitely. Also, they're sick live.
They are very good live.
Do you remember when we saw them in 2017?
Yeah, with
No,
like they are
no, it was 2018, wasn't it?
something like that.
Because we saw them, we've seen them twice. We saw them up for Dying Fetus
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
in Manchester, and then we also saw then that was the gig. My balls almost fell out my shorts, which I've told on the podcast before.
Yeah,
That was the show. Yeah.
I
So
remember.
yeah, I remember when they were sick live. It was
They
and they were
were.
really good. They were really good in they were really good in the stylish and leads. However, I will admit they're better in a small area, as in like just in a compact venue when they're playing that music, it hits different.
Yeah, I feel like they're made for that sort of environment.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I mean, they can sell out big venues as well. But I think the music they play is specifically amazing when it's in a tiny hot box of a room.
Yeah, absolutely. What's next for you?
My next one is Infecting the Crypts by Suffocation. What a banger. What a great band Suffocation are.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, it's just, it hits so hard. Do you know what I mean? But like, they never stop making them. They never stop. You know what I mean? Like, that, it's just always a banger. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just so fucking good.
definitely. I think when you listen to like Suffocation's breakdowns, like you can hear like how it influenced slam to
I'm having
come.
a sleep talker moment.
Yeah, you can hear like how it influenced like slam and everything like that. It wasn't always like a very like okay.
I'm
Yeah, it wasn't always like Jesus
Oh god.
Christ, man. Yeah, it wasn't always like a proper death metal breakdown. Like they've always had that sort of different style, even back then, back in the early days. And you can hear that in the music. Like, you've got like the quintessential, like, you know, death metal blasting, but then like when it comes to the breakdowns, you can kind of hear like the influence to come in a way.
It's just like the oh, it's just slimy. That's it. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to describe them because it's well like their breakdowns because it sounds slimy and
Yeah,
it's like no one knows what that means if they haven't listened to Suffocation, but if they have, they're like, yeah, it's slimy that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
definitely.
oh, another band that I don't think you've seen them actually.
Suffocation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have. It's on Iger
Oh,
Studios.
you didn't see them at Iger Studios because I saw them. Was this before we knew each other?
Yeah,
You were there.
yeah.
How come
Well,
you?
I don't
Out
think
of
I was
the
there.
entire times I've
I don't
mentioned
think I
that
was
story,
there. I don't think I was there with you. I think it was a different time they played Iger Studios.
was it 2010 with Cryptic Shift supporting?
Yeah. The way I
And
think so.
it was
Maybe.
the same show.
Or maybe then.
How come you've never mentioned that? The amount of times I've mentioned that on the podcast and you never went. Weird how we were both there and
I
you
don't
never
know
knew.
because I feel like I knew you at the time, so I don't think it was that same show. I think they might have played a. Oh no, sorry. Maybe did they play Boom? Might have been Boom actually.
They played Boom, but I don't think Cryptic Shift opened for them at Boom.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Because definitely don't think that we were there at the same time. But I think yeah, I've definitely seen Suffocation before, and it was
Well,
either at Boom or Iger.
I was definitely at the Boom one as well because I've seen them
Maybe
3 times.
then I probably would have seen him with you at that time then. Do you remember Dylan was there? So he must have
Yeah,
been there as
Dylan
well.
was there.
And
Dylan was
Caleb.
there. Yeah, yeah, and Kayla.
Mm, yeah, great show though. So next to me is Paleface the Orphan. Now, goddamn. I remember when I first heard this song, I was just like, can this get any better? And it just does every time. Like, I love those songs that gets heavier and heavier. Because sometimes you reach like a song and you're always waiting for that certain bit, and you're like, sometimes like the rest of the song's great, but because that bit in the song is so good, it kind of overrules everything else in the song. So you're like, oh well, the bet's over now. But like with Paleface, they continue to do that. They continue to like, okay, here's one great breakdown, but then you got another good one, and the song just keeps getting better. But it's the one at the end when it just slows everything down. So it's got like a fast paced section, but then it slows the riff down. Everyone loves that. And I think Paleface do that one of the best. And obviously, like, the best thing about Paleface is much more kind of what it is about Jester and Hatebreed. He's like a proper hype man. He gets you really hyped for what's to come. And I
Oh yeah,
think, and he does his classic barking. Gotta love that. Best thing about Paleface. So yeah, honestly, Orphan. If you haven't checked out Paleface, Jesus, you're in for a treat. This song, amazing.
I remember when it came out. I remember when it came out, and like it blew. It was just after we'd interviewed him, wasn't it? Like It was just after we'd interviewed him,
Yeah.
and it blew up all over TikTok as well. I remember
Yeah,
seeing
yeah.
it on TikTok all the time.
I think it was an album, wasn't it? It just like proper propelled them.
I don't know what I think I'm losing my voice. That's what's up with me actually. But you know, it propelled him like fuck, and like the fucking breakdown in the orphan is class. I've seen horrific scenes to that song.
Same.
Yeah, I mean the things I've seen like grown men do to each other, to well just pale face in general is unbelievable. I I remember when they played Four in the Brawl 2019, and this was before they'd obviously released that. But they, you know, like their other albums were still fucking kickers. Gee, I was scared. They would, you know, it's there's not many bands I've seen where I've been physically scared to be in a crowd. But that when they played, I were fucking terrified. I'm not even kidding. I remember looking out and just, I don't think there was a single person that wasn't getting crowd killed.
Understandable. Something about it
Like
just makes you go crazy, doesn't it?
I'm not even kidding, man. Like there was like people going side to side and just jumping as far as they can to get people at the back. So he's even like the people have been like, I'm going to step a bit back. There were people fucking going, no, you're not even safe, motherfucker.
Yeah,
It was,
absolutely.
it was, honestly, what a band.
Yeah, honestly, incredible. Incredible live, incredible the album. I think there's not many bands that make you want to just go crazy to as much as Paleface. There's something in their blood, man. I don't know.
Oh man,
Go on,
oh yeah.
hit us with the next.
So this might be a bit of a curveball for a lot of people. Jesus Christ, I can't stop coughing. But it's to carry the load by a little band called Crowbar. Palm mutes. That's all I'm gonna say. It's all in the palm mutes, right? Which is the if you put my hat up to a sonogram or stethoscope.
Is that what happened?
Jesus Christ, what's wrong with me? But if you put my heart up to a stethoscope,
This is painful.
it would be the
Go on.
sound. I know it. I apologize to everyone. But if you put my heart up to a stethoscope,
Right, we get it. Fucking carry on.
no, let me get it out. A stethoscope, it would probably sound like a palm mute, and that's why this song's so amazing because it catches you off guard. Because the entire song, there isn't any of that, but they come in at the end with that fucking breakdown, and it's just chugs on chugs on chugs, and it's fucking hard as fuck from Crowbar.
Yeah, it's quite surprising actually. I don't listen to too much Crowbar, but it's not what you wouldn't expect them to be on a best breakdowns list. And I was a bit skeptical myself, to be honest, until I put it on and it was like, oh, I see what they're doing there. Because it's sort of like have that like minute when they're sort of like they're building up to something, like they're riffing about, but it's all kind of like unorganized, which is cool because it's kind of got that kind of frantic feel to it. And then it just kind of just clicks and everything just breaks down. And it's just that like proper like headbang worthy breakdown at the end, like mixed in with the Sterner style guitars. So it's quite an interesting breakdown, but also kind of a good one as well.
Mate, the thing is with Crowbar, they've got albums like that, with like borderline hardcore albums, and it's so good.
Might
Like
have checked them out, Bloodstock.
they've always had like they're playing Bloodstock.
Yeah, of course. Play main stage.
How did that slide? How did that? Oh, I'm so seeing Crowbar. Oh, that's made me. I'm buying a fucking Bloodstock ticket.
Have you not bought one
Dude,
already?
no. No, I'm waiting. So I'll be buying it before we go to Crete.
Right, okay.
So I need to get all my shopping and all that out of the way, and then I'll be buying the ticket.
Okay, got you.
Jesus Christ, my throat is in agony. Anyway, but yeah, they have albums like that where it's just so good, and it's amazing, and I love it.
Oh yeah. So my next one is Malevolence Wasted Breath. I don't really have to school you on Malevolence. I'm sure you're quite
the
well aware
catalog.
of the breakdown and Wasted Breath.
It's in the catalog.
But I'll tell you, this was the song that got me into Malevolence, actually. I remember hearing this for the first time, and then I don't know, there's the way that they just break it down, but then they change it. It's like the breakdown shift, which is also one of my favorite things that breakdowns do. Because like, one breakdown that hits is amazing, but then when they change the tempo of it, they come in with a bit more kick and drums, like it just makes it so much better. And that's like what happens in Wasted Breath.
Mate, it's Malevolence have got a catalogue full of bangers.
They do. It's Riff City, man.
I cracked the code, right? It's crowbar vocals, right? With Pantera breakdowns. Yeah. With like insane riffage.
Yeah.
Put them all together, you got Malevolence. And that's why I love them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like your favorite bands put together in one.
Yeah, that's why I like them. Because it's just fun. Like, it's like, the scene where they in Powerpuff Girls where the doctor's mixing all the ingredients.
Yeah, yeah. Bit
It's
of
like
groove, bit of
sugar,
hardcore, bit of
spice.
thrash.
Yeah, no, but he's mixing everything and then he smashes that pot and out comes up. It's just hardness, just
I can definitely
hardness
see the crow.
flowing
Now
in.
that you mentioned it, I can see the crowbar, especially like in the songs where they sing a little more.
Mate, everyone says that. Cotton sounds exactly like
He
Kurt
does.
from Crowbar. Everyone says that. You need to listen to Crowbar, man. It was hard for me to get into them. And that's, yeah, I'll get a lot of shit for that because I know a lot of people that like Crowbar.
No, it's hard for me as well because I've listened to like one or two songs and I don't mind it, but like I've never really felt the hook with them, so I might
It
just have to check out
grows.
a few albums.
It grows. It grows on you. Like, at first, you go into it with them. Like, Crowbar's a hard ass name. So you expect like a super hard band. And they are, but they are in a different way.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, and that's you expect to go into them thinking about it in this way. When you said what you get, you're like, and then you get rid of that mindset and you go into them fresh. You're like, this is actually really good.
Yeah, I accept that. Thanks for you.
I, oh yeah, yours was Malev. I've completely lost track.
Yeah.
I'm very tired. So my next one, another curveball. Kill You Tonight by Typo Negative.
Yeah, that was an interesting one, I'd say, for sure. Because again, you don't listen to Typo Negative for the breakdowns, listen to it for like the gothic, creepy love songs and stuff. Like, they're all about the vibe. But at the end, it's like, I don't know, what I kind of got from it is that sort of like 70s Black Sabbath, like doomy sort of breakdown, which I also
But
love.
it's in a weird way, it's hard.
It is hard.
You know what I
It
mean?
is
It's like
hard, yeah.
dun, 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 run, dun, 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 dun. Like, imagine that live, right? Blasting in your face. You'd be like, this is fucking unreal.
Yeah, just with like the extra bass and stuff.
Mate, honestly, right? I was like, when we were like, oh, let's make a breakdowns list. I went out my way to find curveballs because I didn't want to go. My next one's Davidian by Machine Head. My next one's this, and then just be another one of those lists. I wanted to find actual songs where you're there, like, no fucking, I'm gonna check this out. Oh, that shit's hard.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. No, that's
you
what
know what
you
I mean?
get from this.
That's my favorite Typo Negative song. Like, again, another band that I had to fucking like really, really, really listen to like to be like, all right, now I like it. You know what I mean? Like, it grew. I was ignorant as fuck to it at first, and then I was like, I checked out that album that it's from because it's an early album, and I checked it out because Twitching Songs covered it, and I was like, all right, okay, let me see what the original's like. So I listened to Gravity, and then that's the song after Gravity, right? And I was like, I messaged Dylan. I was like, listen to this whole fucking song, right? It's a hardcore song, like sprinkled into a Typo Negative album. Like, and that's what on it. I was like, it's a hardcore song in a Typo Negative album.
It's
It's
like a
even got
Halloween edition to hardcore, in it?
yeah, it's got like a gang shout and everything. Like, it's got gang shouts, everything, and it's like, whoa, like you're there, like, hang on a minute.
It's like an Easter egg.
I've been trying to convince Dylan to like for the first like Justifier show. to cover it. Well, I'm not trying to convince. I said, let's cover it. And he was like, yeah, because he's also a massive Typo fan.
Yeah, I don't need
So
to
it's
convince him
more
much.
convincing everyone else in the band being like, nah, trust us. This is going to be hard.
Yeah, no, I'll
But
tell
what a
you what,
fucking song.
it was good. Yeah. Is that sort of like also like dramatic gothiness of Typo Negative? So they've sort of made it their own. So it's like I can see what you mean about the hardcore influence, and they've also put the Typo Negative spin on it. So it's not just like, out of this world, like, you know that it's Typo Negative, but it still hits hard, harder than what you'd expect a Typo song to do. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a fan. I like it.
Yeah. Pete Steele used to be in that. It used to like hardcore as well. So I knew it was. I knew it must have been intentional when he wrote that shit.
Definitely, man.
Do you know what I mean? Like I was there. Like, I just fucking knew.
So my next one is Ingested, Better Off Dead. I remember obviously going back, I think it must have been about 2018, and Jester were doing Bloodstock, and Kalen was like, check out this band. And I was like, all right, all right. Because like, as you know, when people send me songs, I very rarely listen to them.
You
I
never
just
listen to anything I send you, and I'm always like, you know what? You're just sat on golden treasure.
it's never the
Like, do you know
right
what I mean?
time. It's just never the right time.
No, I'm literally sending you bangers, and you know, I'll give it a listen, and then like, it'll always be when we're at like a party or something, and it's like, oh, I'll be like, give me the phone, I'm gonna cue something, and I remember I always look at Brad or Dylan, being like, I'm gonna cue all the shit that I sent them, and just see their reactions, and every fucking time you're both like, yo, shit, what band's this stuff? So I sent you it 6 months ago. You could have been listening to them. You know what I mean? Like.
This is the thing. I mean, most of the time, it's just not the right time. I'll be at work, I'll be doing something, but it's the best way to get my attention if I'm actually there. But this time I was like, I'll give him a listen. Let's see what's going on. So I put it on, and like I think it was Better Off Dead, because that was the album that was out at the time for Ingested. And it just hit so hard. It's like when it's like doo doom, doom doom, because it's the first one. I'm like, this is sick, and the second one again comes back slower.
Mate,
Like Ingested do that one of the best for sure.
mate, it's like the Mosh 1, Mosh 2. Do you know what I mean? You pit to pit. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you can go Mosh 1, Mosh 2, and then you're chancing it at Mosh 3. And in Mosh 4, got no chance. But
Exactly,
these guys go Mosh 3 all the time, and it works.
exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just I Ingested for me are like one of those bands that I always look back on of fond memories,
Me
because I
too.
feel like all like my like really really happy memories of when we were younger is involved with Ingested in some way.
Yeah, oh, they're always there, mate. And all the
Like
good stuff's happening.
the best night out we've ever had in York was because of Ingested, because we'd gone to see him and we were like, right, we've got naught to do tomorrow, so let's fucking go. When we went to Pop World and they played Metallica
Exactly. And it's the
against all
same,
the
like
odds.
they're just a little angel on his shoulder are Ingested. But honestly, like, some of the riffs and breakdowns that they've written over the years are like some of the best that I've heard. Like unmatched. They just knock it out the park each time. But this was the song to me that really started it all. That I really just fell in love with. Skinned and Fucked as well. That would have been another top choice. But I've got to pick the nostalgic one. And the whole, like you said, Mosh 1, Mosh 2, Mosh 3, they've been killing that formula for years.
Mate,
Um,
unbelievable band.
yeah.
And it's also, it feels like they're one of those bands that I know we didn't discover him in it because it was already big anyway by the time we'd even listened to him. But it feels like we were listening to him before like everyone else, like really repping him. Do you know what I mean? Like it felt
Yeah.
like we came back. Well, you came back from Bloodstock. If you remember, I couldn't afford to go, and I remember just being watching the group chat every day. Like it looks so fun.
Yeah, they tore that tent apart, the surfy tent with this song. It was
I
just
know. I wish I
incredible.
could have seen it. I've seen the footage, and I was
It was
there
like the
like,
parting of the fucking Red Sea, mate.
mate, I've seen the footage, and I'm like looking at it going, I wish I could have been there. But
Absolutely.
that was like the first song I listened to, banger all the way through, and it's a good pick.
Yeah. What's your pick then?
So my next one is a hardcore one. Dog were barking. It is a hardcore one because you are. I'm surprised there's not a lot of hardcore. So It's American Flag Coffin by a band called The Killer.
Do you know what it is? Like another great thing. There's these little like call it the breakdown teasers, you know, and they're just like teasing you a bit. When they get like in a little kick drum going like boom boom, and then like boom
I call
hits you. Right.
Brad, it's called edging.
Edging, yeah.
It's the breakdown
Same
edging.
thing. Same thing.
You know, you're just there like, come
Yeah, give it to
on, and then when
me.
it finally goes, you're like, wah.
Yeah, man. It's like you're riding a roller coaster about to go down the drop and just hear it going along.
No, hard song though.
It is a hard song.
Hard song. I was there like, I need to put this on the list because I noticed it was getting quite hardcore dry. So I'm like, what one can I put in there? That's like a bit of an older track. I'm like, that everyone will be on. Yeah,
Surprisingly, I picked up the hardcore for this one.
you
Kind of
did a
swaps
little bit,
roles, yeah.
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 You did a little bit. I was like, I was actually kind of shocked. But hard fucking track by a hard band. I love it. I was like, I remember I was going because it was my idea to do the list. So that pretty much as soon as like we left that group chat, that group call, like that call, I was like just searching for my phone, like going, right, let's cover all fucking bases. So I was thinking about the playlist. So I was there like, right, I'm gonna fucking bang it full of all this shit. And I remember, I think I sent you yours, and you like, Nathan, that's just mine, and you like, it's too much, man. Not,
It's too long.
we can't do that in one episode.
But
But yeah,
good track
bang
though.
over track, really good track. I enjoyed it, and it's just, you know what I mean. It gives you those little teases all the way through, and it just hits you straight in the face, and you're there. Like, this is amazing.
Yeah, I love like
It
the
is.
hardcore breakdowns, to be honest. Something about them. That
Mate,
crack.
the thing is, what I like about hardcore breakdowns is they don't rely on the low tuning for it to be a hard riff.
Yeah, that is true. It could be like
You know what I
potato
mean?
quality, but it'll still sound as hard as like some of the best produced, like, you
Well,
know.
I'm on about like the tuning, so they don't like obviously it's like you know, drop A or
Well, that as
drop
well,
B.
yeah.
You can make any riff sound hard as fuck in it. Drop A or drop B. You know, you just palm mute a couple open chords, maybe a few ones and twos thrown in there, right? Hard riff. If you're in a different tuning that's higher up, like most hardcore bands are in C, but some are also in fucking standard, right? If you could still make a hard riff in standard, that's a hard riff in all the fucking tunings. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I respect hardcore bands for making the hardest breakdowns because that shit is hard. Do you know what I mean? It's not hiding behind something.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. So my next one is well, it's a mixture of I guess you call it like a hardcore slash metalcore slash whatever the fuck, but it's Landmarks Lost in a Wave.
Okay, right. So one thing I've got to say about that song, right, is if you skip through that, sounds like 5 different songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you're there, like okay, a bit of pop punk. Okay, what's that? That's a bit weird. That fucking breakdown is like Oceano level. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It
man.
reminds me of Oceano.
I
Does
see
that
that.
like it massively reminds me of Oceano? Just boom, boom. Oh,
Yeah.
that's fucking good pick. That
What I love about this is you know, sometimes when you listen to like a band that like predominantly like, you know, they might do more clean singing than like harder vocals, yeah, you know, because you usually get like a mix of them, but sometimes you get like, you know, one predominantly over the other. I guess you get that more Landmarks. You know, he's got these very like Chester-like vocals, like, you know, very prominent. And then like it almost like makes you not work for the breakdown, but it makes you really appreciate like that little sparingly used scream. But that scream that he does is probably one of the fucking sickest screams I've heard on like a metalcore song. It is like out of nowhere, this demonic sounding fucking, and then it
mate,
just breaks down, and then it gets slower. You know,
I it, I was like, oh, okay, because the track is yeah. I was one expecting it because it don't sound like it being that track. I mean, there's a lot of clean singing you there. Like, okay, I mean, you know, I suppose I could get down to this. You know, just, you know, I like a little bit of pop punk every now and again. And he fucking
more
comes in with
metalcore than
that.
pop
Yeah,
punk,
that
but yeah,
well, more metalcore. But he's like, I like a bit of metalcore, yeah. And it's like, as soon as it comes in, yeah, like, hang on, did I skip the song?
is this how we gone to
You
the
know what I
next
mean?
song?
Like, did I skip the song? No, it's the same fucking song. But that's why I like it because it takes you by surprise.
and that is like a proper like hardcore beatdown style of breakdown
I'd
as
say more of
well.
like a beat down style.
Yeah, more
So like
beatdown.
a lot of people always get them confused. Right, and there isn't that much difference, right? But what there is actually, I always see it as like hardcore is basically beatdown is basically a hardcore version of slam. But I mean, I might get some shit. It is basically slam
Yeah.
in a way,
Well, okay, well that's like definitely like a beatdown, slammy
but has more
breakdown
groove.
there.
Yeah, I mean, beatdown has more groove than slam. It is
Yeah,
kind of its own thing, but it's very similar to slam. But hard riff,
definitely.
hard.
Definitely pulling from that. Definitely beatdown. Like definitely not a metalcore breakdown, which is what I noticed. Which is where like you'll find that in a lot of the songs, like the vocals and most of the musicianship is very metalcore, but then they'll have like these beatdown moments. So it's cool. It's cool because there's a bit of diversity in there. I like it.
Oh yeah,
Thanks for
definitely.
you.
Also, anyone listening or watching at home, drinking contest. Every time I say the word hard riff or hard, take a shot.
Yeah, you'd be smashed. Go on.
um, my next one is Propaganda by Sepultura.
Ah, well, I don't listen to that one.
Now, the thing is, Sepultura, I think they're not underrated. However, they are in the sense of breakdowns. Do you know what I mean? No one ever brings Sepultura into the breakdown
I'd say they
conversation.
do.
I rarely hear it. I could be wrong.
I don't know, like when it comes to like before, like I got into like deathcore and stuff. Like to me, like Sepultura were always like the breakdown kings in a way, especially like the
True.
more groovier songs. Even in the thrashier stuff, you've got stuff like fucking Dead Embryonic Cells, which has got one of the sickest breakdowns as well.
Mate, that was almost
Arise.
that is also going to be on the that's going to be on the playlist. I didn't want to be cheeky and go, oh, two Sepultura songs. I
I
mean, I
was
wanted
picked
to
with
vary
myself.
it.
I was picked with myself as well.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I wanted to vary it a little bit. But I mean, you could literally, we could fill up the entire playlist of Sepultura songs, if I'm honest,
Definitely.
because they all could go on there. Because they're all, as well, always ahead of the time, always ahead. Like dead embryonic cells is the template for a good breakdown.
It is.
What were that? When were that fucking made?
Fucking like 1989 or something like that.
Yeah, like somewhat close. Like no, it was definitely in the 90s. I think it was like 94. I'm not mistaken, but still early as fuck for that sort of stuff, in my opinion. Like I don't think a lot of people were writing that
No,
at the
definitely
time.
not. They were always ahead of the game though. I mean, even like some of the earliest stuff, the first album, such like a black and thrash infusion. Like I don't know
That's
how
what
many
I was
black
gonna
metal
say. Yeah,
bands that they influenced on that. Like they've just always been ahead of the curve. Even like Max Goes to Soulfly, that influenced new metal. Like there's so much to it, but like you said, the breakdowns that they've written are just monumental, especially
Max is
Propaganda.
Max is metal's well is a musical genius.
He is. He's the god.
I I rate that man so much, but like he is genuinely a fucking genius. Like it's one of those things where it's like it's hard to create one iconic band that will last through the ages of time to even now, back then. This man's done like three or four.
And they're all sick.
Do you know what I mean? But they're all sick in their own ways.
There's something about
That's what's
him.
crazy
Something
about
about him,
it.
man.
Like he's made like four iconic bands. I mean, I might be exaggerating with four.
No, you're right with four.
Okay, I am right with four then. Okay, because I couldn't remember the other two, but then Cavalier
Killer Be
Conspiracy.
Killed, Cavalier Conspiracy, great
Yeah,
bands.
yeah, like, all fucking amazing bands. Do you know what I mean? Four iconic bands. What are the chances? You've got to be a fucking again a genius to be able to do that. It's
And
hard enough doing it once.
he's never stopped writing good riffs. Like if you could just look
Never.
at his catalog and just the amount of riffs he's written, like he's written more riffs than I've had hot dinners, and they're all fucking exceptional for sure.
That's such a Yorkshire saying. He's written more riffs than I have had hot dinners when I'm working down in pits.
Yeah, I mean, like propaganda. That. Oh, what a tune!
Mate, I actually it's on that, you know, that rare fucking little 4-track vinyl that I have. It's on that. Oh, and it's so good. So
Yes,
good. It's like it's just a song for the ages. Like there's still people that when they first get into metal that are listening to that. And that says something.
I remember just like getting um, it was like a little box set of CDs, and it had like the first five Sepultura albums, and like I never listened to them before that, really not much. And like I just went through like a roller coaster of listening to each one, each album being different from me, with that, the last one, but it's so hard, always.
I remember when I first got into metal, Roots being like always playing in keys. And that used to be my favorite. I mean, it's bad to say now, I will get crucified with people knocking at the door, being like, you're the man that liked that Sepultura album.
It's a great
But
album, so influential.
no, but everyone says it's their worst. But
It's not
here's
their
the thing.
worst album.
Well, yeah, you know. But everyone says it's the worst. But when you do look at it in the context of the ones before it, it is. But the ones that came after it were worse in a way. Do you know
I'd
what I
say
mean?
I don't know. I'd say that it's to me it's better than like Schizophrenia and Bestial Invasion. Like, that
Hmm.
the Morbid Vision, sorry, like the first two albums, because they're still sort of finding the sound and there's some great tracks in there, but like Roots is such a well produced, very innovative, like nothing sounds like Roots. And bands have
But
copied it since, but it was so influential to every band to come after it.
when you compare it to like Arise shits all over it.
It does. But still, it's still a great album.
I all I'm saying is I do get why people go, that's one of the worst ones. Because when you do compare it in that lens of what they did before, they all of them shit all over it, but it's still not a bad album.
No, no. I mean, compare it to like albums that were released around the time of it. It's still one of the best, but
Yeah,
it's just comparing Sepultura to Sepultura is a hard bash. There's just written too many good ones.
yeah, I know. It
So
is
my
still a good album, but it's just not as good as the other ones. But it's still better than the stuff that was getting released at the time.
exactly. So my next one is a band that I'm sure people know. It's Parkway Drive, and the song is Dead Weight.
Oh, okay, that's a good pick, Brad.
Yep.
I was skeptical on the Parkway Drive, but that's a good pick. Where it's like, dun, 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 dun. Oh, that's a good pick. I'll give you that. That is a really good pick.
Yeah, I love like the middle section when they sort of like do that interlude and you think, oh, it's over. It was so good. And it's like, nah, mate, we're coming back with more. And then it's got like the sort of like more muted version of it, which sounds sick as well.
The
Amazing.
pick slide as well.
Mm.
It's like,
Yeah, honestly, Parkway Drive have written some great breakdowns over the years. And I think people, some people might look at them and think, oh, this is not the heaviest band in the world. But I still challenge people to, write some of the breakdowns that they've written over the years because it still goes harder than a lot of them out there, for
yeah.
sure.
The thing is, I remember I watched the Hardlaw podcast with Jimmy Jaster, and he said that they were like Parkway were one of those bands that they wanted to put up to be bigger because they thought they were sick. And then like if you listen to them in the context of how they are now, that didn't make sense to me. But then when you look back on their old songs, it's like they kind of was like though that type of band that Hatebreed would be like, yeah, let's go on tour with them, let's fucking make these
Yeah,
boys
yeah,
big. Yeah, you know
definitely.
what I mean, like they had like heavy as fuck riffs, and they're charismatic guys. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're disingenuous in any way. They seem like they just
No,
genuinely
super,
like
super nice
enjoy this
guys.
shit. Yeah, I mean,
Well, exactly like Parkway Drive, especially like the earlier albums. I love everything that they've done, but like the earlier albums have just got some really heavy hitters on it. And I remember like just hearing this song and getting to see it live actually. I think they played it like Bloodstock when I last saw them, and it just fucking destroyed the crowd.
Yeah, I think they played Dead. Oh, they did play Dead Weight.
They played that way. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember now. That's still one of the best performances I've seen at a festival.
Yeah, me too. Incredible
Like,
band live.
I remember watching it and being like, you know what? Because I remember all the shit they got from that Bloodstock Metal Forum.
And then who wasn't fucking watching them? No one. Everyone was there.
I know, and everyone's like, "Well, I guess I'll be in." The worst comment I saw was some fucking like this last like comment and be like, "Well, I guess I'll be in my tent drinking wine.
Oh, fuck off then.
Good for you.
Yeah,
I'll
stay
be
there,
watching
mate.
Parkway."
No one wants your negativity, bro.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? You're gonna bring the crowd down. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like, oh, why could one of those things where I was there like, you know what? I'm more pumped because it pissed all them off. Why is Siri listening to me?
Exactly.
Um, Siri was the one listening to me, and I saw it pop up on my
He's
screen.
like, you're right, Nathan. Fuck the posers.
I, for one, believe Parkway Drive is one of the best 2000 metalcore bands.
Yes, that breakdown does hit hard.
Listen to.
Yeah, no, incredible band. What's next for you?
Mine. I've filled this with curveballs, and this was one that you were like, "This is a deep cut." But Expendable Youth by Slayer.
Tell you
I
what,
told you.
it's interesting because like, I go through stages of like not listening to Slayer for a very long time, but then as soon as I go back to them, I just forget like how fucking good Slayer is. Like they were just the goat, weren't they?
It's mate. So many people ripped off that riff though,
I
because
know.
it's like a pseudo like breakdown before breakdown was a thing again. Jesus,
Exactly.
what is wrong with my
But it's
throat?
interesting as well because like, Slayer is a band that you don't associate with being slow. Like, or like, even just in the context of breakdowns, like they might have a few here and there, but like, you listen to Slayer for the speed, but it shows that just the craftsmanship and listening back to Slayer, I just forget how fucking good Dave Lombardo was as a drummer for Slayer. Like, fuck me. All his
Mate,
fills and stuff. Whoa.
unbelievable fills.
Yeah,
But
unbelievable fills.
do you see why this is on the list?
Yeah, it's
I
got like
mean,
a
I was
proper
there like,
like groove to it.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You're there like that. You just sat there. I remind myself. So like, yeah. So the breakdown itself is a callback to the intro.
Yeah.
But it works as a breakdown. It's like dun 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 dun. Oh, it's fucking good.
It's like a really innovative way to introduce a breakdown because it's also like, a lot of the song is the same sort of, tempo, but like it also changes. So like the breakdown is almost seamlessly thrown in there. Like 'cause I struggled to find it at
Yeah.
first, but like when you realize it, like, oh, it's actually really clever the way they've done this. And
But
it's
I
like a
don't
proper
think.
groovy one as well.
Here's the thing. I don't think it was intentional.
Do you know?
I think there was like okay, and then we'll go back to the intro riff, and then we'll go into that. I think we were meant to like more or like a bridge,
They're
but
just too good. They just
it's a
don't even know
breakdown.
they're writing pure gold.
Yeah, exactly.
No, honestly,
It's a banger.
incredible. Like, I actually really like the song. I have listened to it before, obviously, because I used to listen to Slayer a lot. Um, but yeah, this has got that groove all the way through, and it's like a proper headbang song, like from start to finish.
And it's a deep cut Slayer song.
And it is a deep cut Slayer song.
What you'll get one person going, well, actually, it's not a deep cut. If you listen to blah 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 off the EP on the demo tape, it's not a deep cut. It's a
Yeah,
deep cut for most modern audiences. I mean, most people get to Rain in Blood and then stop.
yeah. I mean, like they would be the obvious breakdown choices. Rain in Blood, Angel of Death, and they are actually
I
more typical
specifically
breakdowns, but
didn't
great
pick
breakdowns.
anything from Rain in Blood. I was like, no, that's too easy. Too easy.
They are incredible breakdowns, but I think this is more of an interesting choice, especially because it's got, like you said, that proto death metal, breakdown style. So yeah. So
Yeah, I'm here.
next to me,
I took this so seriously. I'm gonna make my list just like whoppers.
so I want to throw in like a new style one, which is Suicide Silence, Thinking in Tongues. Now, I remember because like I think I've said before, like I got into Suicide Silence pretty late, and I think you sent me the song, and I was like, all right, let's give it a whirl, see what's going
Let's
on.
face it. I got you into Suicide Silence.
Probably.
I
I
got
don't want
you.
to feed your ego any more than it already is, but Yeah, probably.
I mean, it's hard being a musical connoisseur like myself.
I think that's straight off my mouth. But yeah, honestly, such a fucking hard song. Like this song, I mean, it's coming from a band that were one of the quintessential deathcore bands, but I think this is the best song they've ever written, in my opinion. Like it's just incredible. Like to write, like we haven't seen like much of this old style deathcore done as well as this, and of course, it's going to come from Suicide Silence. I'm really
It's
disappointed it's not on the album as well.
I'm upset that it's not on the album.
I know,
I was like so hyped, but I do like its own thing.
but
But
that
Suicide
breakdown at the end,
Silence, mate, mate,
breakdown at the end, it's hit
that's
so
how
hard.
I knew that album was gonna be good off the bat. I was there like, yes, baby. I was like, this is what I wanted.
Yeah, it just hits super hard, man.
Yeah, like, also, right, that, in my opinion, right, is deathcore how God intended it to be.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just straight like the old school deathcore, still hard to this day. And I think it's something that can't be said for modern deathcore. Hot take. But
Yeah,
I
not
genuinely think
for some for the most part, I guess, like for sure. But I think like this is probably one of the best, if not the best, deathcore song that's been released in many years.
definitely.
Like I
But
said,
it's stripping it back to basics.
it is, and it shows that that's all it needs. And just like the vocal performance, even like company with the breakdown, just hit super hard. It's like, hearing like that style of deathcore with like modern production when it just like, has got the extra layers to it. Just incredible, honestly.
Yeah. Also, side note, well, I think it's an opinion that's true. This is an opinion that I think that everyone doesn't want to say, right? But I'm gonna say it. The kind of crappy old production on those old deathcore albums was what made them better. It almost loaned to how brutal they were.
I think it adds to it for sure.
Do you know what I mean? Like they go out and they reissue it. It's like, hey, we redid the production. Doesn't have the same charm. Now it could be that you're not getting the nostalgia tint, but I personally think that it was something about that old school style production that made it seem harder.
But that could be said for like death metal and black metal as well. Like, a lot of people are drawn to those, like, I guess, less produced albums, the more raw versions, because it does add that layer of, roughness to it. So maybe that's the same way that people might feel about deathcore as well.
That's what I was thinking. But I think the thing is, I always go back to old school deathcore and would listen to that more than I do modern day deathcore.
I mean, it's some
Uh,
of the best stuff written, I mean, you can't beat the classics sometimes, for sure.
and I know we always say people need to, stop fantasizing the old days, but I genuinely think that's when it was best for deathcore. Weirdly, and I know there's been a lot of people really changing things up and making really good music, but I honestly, genuinely think that's when it was at its best. It's at pure, like it's at its purest, because it was just meant to be death metal with a bit of hardcore, and
It's
now
all
it's
the
become
different meaning now,
it's
isn't
an
it?
entire different thing. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not deathcore is its own thing, but isn't. Do you know what I mean? So like the way I sort of see it is that it kind of got enveloped under the metal umbrella. So like in those days, deathcore was here, right, and metal was like kind of here, and then as it progressed, it just kind of went. So now it's all like it feels like one thing, whereas back then it felt like something different.
Yeah, I think that's a fair opinion.
Yeah, I think it might be a hot take for some people, but I just think it was better
So what's next for you?
then. Destroy the opposition. Now, okay, I've got a better way to segue into it. To be fair,
Go on.
what's a breakdown list without dying fetus? But yeah, my next one is destroy the opposition by dying fetus. What a fucking track!
Yeah, incredible. Like, I do think Dying Fetus have written some of the best breakdowns of all time, to be honest. Like,
Not even breakdowns though, best songs of
best
all time.
songs. Yeah, easily. They just got this like technicality, but then like when they break it down, everything slows down. It's just pure gold, honestly.
I think it's the intention behind the breakdown on the riff. Like, you gotta remember the Dying Fetus guys aren't really more. They obviously they love death metal, but they come from other places when it comes to the breakdowns. And I think the intention is, well, you can't listen to Destroy the Opposition and tell me that it wasn't written imagining like a hardcore pit.
Fair shout.
Do you know what I mean? Like you can't tell me that because in my eyes, you know, I would want to write riffs like that specifically to see people fucking go nuts and beat everyone up. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'd write it for. So I
I
feel like they were
mean,
coming from the same place.
Dying Fetus are like, they've always had that slam sound as well. Like, I don't think anyone can call them directly slam because they're not, but some of the riffing in there is definitely slam inspired. And obviously, where does slam come from? It's a mixture of hardcore, metal, and other stuff. So, yeah, I think that's a fair thing to say. But like, it's the cool thing about Dying Fetus. It's such like a hybrid band. Like, they've got all the technical, almost like tech death style riffing at some points. Then they've got some slimy parts, even some hardcore bits. There's like again another situation of like Malevolence, like it's another Powerpuff Girl
Sugar,
situation.
spice, and everything nice.
Yeah, I think these are what make the best bands when they just come from everything and they give you your favorite parts. Because some bands you got to be in the mood, or maybe they're just not going to touch it at this rate. But then you listen to bands like Malev, bands like Dying Fetus, and they just like tick all the boxes for you. And like especially like this song, when it hits at the end, they made you not work for it, but you've got all the way through all these great parts, and then they managed to come back at the end with like easily the most memorable bit in the song.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's all a mindset. I think what makes great bands like this, like what you said, when everyone comes from a different point,
Mm.
like within a different intention, because you can get a kid that's listening to only death metal
And
his
you'll just get
entire
death
life,
metal.
and he'll go, right, I'm gonna start a death metal band, and it don't get me wrong, it'll probably be good, but you just get what he's listened to. However, if you get that's why the hardcore kids doing death metal thing, we've said it in the podcast before and we'll say it again. That's why it's hitting different because they're coming at it in a different perspective. They're writing songs in a different perspective to how, like in that genre it would be traditionally done.
Yeah, it's the best way
And
to do
that's
it.
what makes the best bands.
So, speaking of innovation, my next one, Code Orange, Forever. Now, I'd say this. Obviously, you know the song. I don't really have to tell you about Code Orange. But I'd say, like, I think that this is the time when I got into hardcore, like all these like kind of different style. And I know Code Orange is a bit of another bit of a hybrid situation going on. But like I was blown away by this song, and then the album came, and I was just like, "Wow, this is something else." Obviously, it won awards because it was just amazing. But like, this song is literally just one of the dirtiest, nastiest songs I've listened to. And it's like even from the start, like you've got a sort of like industrial riff, and then it just goes in, and it's like almost like a breakdown all the way through. But then it's like the bit midway through the song when it's like doom, doom, doom. It's like so dramatic and so cinematic, but yeah, just fucking hard as shit.
I think the thing is as well, I think with Code Orange, I think they realized earlier on that they could maybe get away with doing weirder stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like they realize, hang on, we also like this, and now we're getting like attention from other like sort of crowds that wouldn't normally be exposed to. So I feel like we could just try weirder stuff, and they did, and I think like that really worked for them.
Yeah, the weird stuff is the better stuff for Code Orange.
Because like ever since they like started adding like weird glitching and stuff like that, it doesn't happen anymore. I noticed with newer bands, but there was a weird wave where it felt like every metalcore band or like metallic hardcore band in some way would copy the glitching.
Yeah.
If you remember, there was a brief weird wave where that happened.
And it was like, I don't know, it was like their signature sound, I think, as well, like the
That's
glitching
what
and
made it
electronic
one of those things,
sounds.
though. I think like the reason why it wasn't like another half situation and was short lived because people realized that's actually their thing, and it doesn't work for us.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
mean,
honestly,
I
fucking
think that's
sick.
why it was short lived. But they're a great band.
I think
They
it's
are.
honestly, I think Forever is one of my favorite songs ever written. It's
I
just like,
think. I think as well. They're kind of a spiritual successor for Slipknot. Not even kidding. Like I feel because the fan base. I notice now the fan base is, and it might obviously have something to do with Slipknot really raving them, and then like them playing Knotfest a few years back. But I genuinely think there might be a spiritual sort of successor to them in a way. I think when
I would
Slipknot
say there's
retire,
another band that's probably the spiritual successor to Slipknot, to be fair.
if you say Vended, I'll be like,
No,
oh,
no, fuck Offended. I'm on about Slaughter to Prevail.
yeah, in a way.
They sound more like Slipknot. They wear the masks like, you got Alex Terrible, which is just a monumental frontman. By the way, they would have definitely been honorable shouts, but I thought they were, even for me, that was a bit too obvious to pick Slaughter to Prevail and Lorna Shore, because
I
obviously we
know,
know they do good breakdowns.
but here's the thing though, Brad. I genuinely think that Code Orange would be the ones that would take over the mantle.
Interesting choice.
Because I think if they when what do you mean if they are going to retire eventually? When they retire, I reckon Code Orange would probably squeeze into that slot.
What makes you think it'd be Code Orange?
I
They don't
think
really
it's
sound
just
like them, do they?
no, I don't think it's that they sound like him. I think it's just like more of like they sort of it. If you listen to them side by side in a weird way, or like you just see how they market themselves in a very similar way. To the point where you can probably view that fan base being like, I like this specific thing about Slipknot. And you probably find more of those things within like Code Orange than you would Slaughter to Prevail.
Interesting.
Yeah, big thinking.
Interesting. Go on, what's next for you?
We're at the end of my list. By the way, we didn't mention to the viewers, this isn't like our top tens sort of thing. This is just like here's like our out of the lists that we made, probably our favourites. But it's in no particular order. But my last one is All Will Suffer by Shattered Realm.
Definitely sounds very Slayer inspired, which is cool. It's interesting to see it in that setting. And yeah, so like when it starts off with the breakdown, which is a very interesting way to start a song with the best bit first. But yeah, hits hard.
All right, here's the thing, right? When you hear a bell
Trouble's
like,
coming.
before a breakdown, there's no better thing to put before breakdown, in my own opinion, right? Because when you see it live, and especially if you come from a hardcore background, I think anyone that's into hardcore knows if there's a ding, you're like you're
Yeah,
like looking
fine
around like
cover.
shit, shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like immediately, it's like, Caleb said, it's like when you listen to a hardcore band and they've got like sort of that rev up into like a breakdown. It's like Jaws. We're like dun, 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 and then the bell's like the da da da. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, Shark's
but
head.
it shout out to Caleb. But yeah, like it's so true. But the fact that they start off with ding,
It's like immediately just straight into it.
mate,
No foreplay,
carnage. It would
straight
be
in, raw dogging.
carnage, carnage. You could play that. Oh, you could. They honestly play that at a show even now. Fucking carnage. I can't imagine what it was like when it first came out. It would be the UN would have to get involved. They'd
It
be like,
was,
this is illegal now. Like, do
yeah, absolutely nuclear that breakdown.
you know what I mean? Hard as fuck. Vocals are hard as fuck over it, right? Just hits like a fucking train, and that's why it's on the fucking list because it hits like a train, and you're there like, yeah, solid, solid breakdown.
I agree. I agree. I guess I've got because I think you skipped one of your list, so I'm gonna have to
I
go to
definitely
my.
didn't. There's 10 here.
Yeah, you missed Chaos Breed by Entombed.
Shit, I did. All right, well, that'll be my last one. That'll be my last one.
Okay, well, I'll go into mine now, then you can do your last one.
I can't
So,
believe I skipped over Chaos Breed.
I know. Um, so my next one is Fit for an Autopsy, the Juggernaut.
Deep cut for that's a deep cut fit for an autopsy track. That
That was the album that I first discovered them on. Like
really?
ages ago, yeah, it was one of the first deathcore albums that I loved, and I got told like this is the best one. You got to listen to this album. Me not knowing anything about Fit for an Autopsy because I think I no, sorry, yeah, I discovered like I think it was the 2017 album, and I think it was like Hydra the first I listened to, which was a sick song. But then like I got told like no, you need to listen to like the real, good like the fucking sickest Fit for an Autopsy, and I went back and listened to the album. Fucking incredible.
Hydra though.
Hydra's a
But
banger.
when we were talking about hooks, what a hook! Because one you
Yeah.
oh
That's what I
man.
mean. That and I think like Joe does that some of the best as well. Is just like the pre-breakdown screaming,
Well, this isn't with Joe though, is it?
isn't it? I thought Joe's always
I'm
been in the
sure
band.
this. No, he's not. I don't think he's always been in the band.
Hmm,
I'm sure they switched vocalists,
fair enough.
but
Well, still sick.
fucking still sick. It's just a dun, 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 dun. Hard. Take
Right?
another shot. People listening at home. No, but that's a good breakdown. That's another good pick. To be fair, Brad.
Yeah,
Well
I
done.
gotta say.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of
I know my breakdowns, mate. I know my
you.
breakdowns. I think Fit for an Autopsy are like one of the kings, to be honest.
Mate, talking about the fit for an autopsy, bands that have changed with time, but aged gracefully.
Definitely Fit for an Autopsy.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I they started off making hard like I'm just gonna try and make a conscious effort not to say hard anymore. But they started off making heavy shit, yeah. But then they've transitioned into this what if Gojira was deathcore sort of sound. It feels like that anyway. And it's so good. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like a fine wine.
they just keep getting better and better. They become more sure of themselves, like they've got their own sound now, and every time they just absolutely kill it.
Yeah. Which, you know, is something that might not be able to be said about other bands from that era.
Yeah.
Not naming names.
So what's your next one?
Well, my next one is the one that I skipped over and forgot about, which I shouldn't have done because it's by easily one of the best death metal bands to ever grace the earth. Ever. And the fact that we got to see Entombed AD, if you remember that.
I do.
And that is
Never
going
see
to
it.
be the story I tell my grandkids, even
And
if they're not into this shit. I'll
the
be
band
just
with
sat
definitely
here.
the more distortion I've ever heard. That's still amazing.
It's those Boss HM2s, man. That's why I bought one. But like Chaos Breed by Entombed.
See, what I love about that, the Entombed one, is just like it's such a long breakdown, and you're like, oh, can't possibly get any better. And I love it. I love when it starts bringing like all
Yeah,
the like melodic riffing into it as well. It's like he's just doing all the fucking harmonies, and then there's still that like
so how they do it.
sounds like an
They do
alarm
it
going
all,
off.
mate. They do it all open, and then they start palm muting it. And it's just like, what?
And
Do you know what I mean? Like, you're there, like, I've gone to heaven,
they just are one of the goats out there.
mate. Goats, goats. The thing is, not underrated at all for fucking good reason. Goats. Every fuck, not a bad album.
Literally,
Literally no bad album, ever. It's
just
like
pure pleb bliss.
that meme with a portrait of a horse, and it's like if one's like better than the other, it's like a flaming horse. Their
Yeah,
entire discography is that flaming horse,
yeah.
just perfection,
So much influence as well.
mate. I draw from a lot when it comes to Justifier. I'm like sometimes when I'm stuck writing or like thinking we're all in there thinking of a bit. I'm there like, what would Entomb do?
Hmm.
But they're fucking great. That breakdown's also another proto breakdown was a breakdown in death metal before breakdowns in death metal was a thing.
Yeah. Incredible stuff. So leaves us with the last one, which is Not Loose, where the light divides the hollow.
I am so surprised you didn't put Counting Worms on there.
No, it's this song.
I would have put Counting Worms. I was tempted to put them on the list. I was tempted, and they will be in the playlist because I had a talking point on Counting Worms.
Well, although Counting Worms is obviously amazing, I do have to pick this one. Like, this is, I'm not gonna lie, this is like my favorite breakdown of all time. And after
Really?
all, yeah, after all these years, I've listened to a lot of good breakdowns, and most of the ones that I love are been very hard to beat. I listen to a new breakdown and like, it almost gets there, but it doesn't quite. So going into this song, like I didn't really know what to expect, and then it gets to the last bit, and we're talking about like kind of segues into a breakdown. It's just like the most, like it just whispers where the light divides the hollow, and it just fucking boom, and
I
it's
think
just the
you're.
hardest breakdown.
Are you sure you're not thinking
Oh
of
no,
the wrong
Terra
one?
Fabric and Life, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Terror the Fabric of
Yeah,
Life.
my mistake.
Are you
So yeah,
switching out this for Terror the Fabric of Life?
no. So I mean, this is what he says in the song, in it, and where the light divides the hollow.
Okay, I'm with you
Yeah,
now.
that's what he whispers, because that's the album. Then there's no song on the album called "Why the Light Divides the Hollow," is there?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So yeah, it comes in massive fucking breakdown, and then it just like the two other mosh sections that come after it. Incredible. Just
Oh mate, you've just
I can't
reminded
wait
me.
to see this live. I never got to see it live yet.
You haven't seen? I haven't seen it. Wait, have I? No, I have not. I have not seen this live, and we're gonna see it live at Bloodstock. Although, kind of good. It's at Bloodstock
Why?
because it's not gonna have the same effect.
I'm sure it will.
No, it will and it won't. Here's the thing: festivals, you don't get the same effect.
I don't know. When we watched my level Bloodstock, that was pretty incredible.
I did have a good mosh, didn't
Yeah.
I?
Don't know what you're on about, mate. It's probably like one of the best crowds for it.
But yeah, no, hard breakdown. I thought any. The thing is, I was gonna put Counting Worms on there, right? And I know it's overused to fuck now, and everyone always mentions it. But this was gonna be my talking point. I think in the retrospect of like in 10, 20 years time, when people that are then our age, start a podcast and we'll be old men. We'll only be 40. Anyway, I digress, right? But when we're older, this is what the youngins are going to look at and be like, here's a classic album. And I think Counting Words will be on a lot of those lists.
It
Because
still
of
is. Still is
how
at the
iconic.
moment.
Yeah, but because of how iconic it is and how revolutionary and how much it propelled that band.
Definitely. I mean, like it's already recognized as, one of the best albums. Like you see it everywhere. So you can only imagine like what kind of power it's gonna hold in many years to come. This incredible band, blown up massively. And I think like that EP is a like magnum opus. It's just, well, that and obviously different shade of blue.
Yeah,
Is it?
it is
Yeah.
different shades of blue.
Yeah. That them two like coinciding with each other. Two of the best albums I've listened to easily. Incredible.
Also, one thing that I really like about Not Loose is they're a band that's gained momentum and have gotten big, but haven't been greedy and kept it to themselves.
Yeah.
They've dragged other ships with them. Yeah, I mean, rising tides make the other ships rise.
Yeah. Something like that.
I fucking butchered that, didn't
I really did.
I? But
But I
no,
see
like
what you're getting at. Yeah.
yeah, they brought other bands with them and brought them up as well.
Indeed. So yeah, that was our best breakdowns list. Don't forget to check out the playlist, which will be available for you to listen
There'll
to.
be more songs as well.
And there will be more songs. We can just keep adding to it, to be fair. Whenever we get a good breakdown, we'll add it in.
Oh no, I toyed with this idea, and I think we should make a cap of how many should be in there and leave it like that.
Sure. Yeah. But yeah, listen to the playlist. It's gonna be full of bangers. And yeah, thank you for watching. Don't forget
Thank
to like,
you.
subscribe.
Yeah. And leave us a rating too. I've noticed since we started saying that at the beginning of each episode, 11 people have left us a 4.8 rating.
Yeah, what the fuck, guys?
Cheers,
Where's the
guys.
extra 2 stars? What can we
Yeah.
do better? What more
if
do you
you'd like
want?
if you'd like a survey, we can send them out on your request.
Yeah. So yeah, make sure you follow us on social media. It's everything's Headbangers Podcast except for Twitter. It's Headbangers Pod 1. Yeah, check it out. And we hope you enjoyed it. Let us know what your favorite breakdowns are.
We'll see you in the next episode.